Another weekend, another couple of ranked teams. It's pretty standard, I guess, for you guys. What's different about this weekend going on the road?
Well, I just got done watching some Purdue. They have, both Purdue and Kansas are two of the most physical teams in the country. They have some remarkable size and athleticism, similar to, I think, what we saw a little bit against Kentucky and Lanier and USC. So we've faced some athletes like that. And then Belmont runs a really, really unorthodox offense. So we're going to spend a lot of time watching their creativity and really have to be locked in, or they're going to get some balls that we're just not ready for. So, we know what preseason is. Every match, literally every match we can lose. So, we'll take it one match at a time, and right now our focus is on Purdue.
First time back, at Canton Lawrence, obviously, since last postseason. What do you expect? I know you're focused one at a time, but what do you expect out of maybe the crowd or that team looking to knock you guys off?
Both Kansas and Creighton return a lot, so we're very familiar with each other. We play each other usually every year. Great respect for their coaching staff. It'll be fun. I think, there's definitely a little bit of a rivalry, but I think it's a respected rivalry. So I know that it's been sold out for a long time. It should be pretty, I'm losing a lot of friends this week because I have lots of people from family to friends that are wanting tickets that unfortunately we just can't get them.
How about Purdue for Lydia? It's kind of well, I'm sure she's had searching a little bit coming into this weekend.
Lydia has always spoken very fondly of her experience at Purdue. She's spoken nicely about her teammates, the coaching staff, so I think it'll be fun. Of course there's going to be a little bit of extra energy, I think probably on both sides, and it's going to be who handles it. But, we're going to approach it like every other match. This is not a rivalry sort of situation. We feel fortunate that it worked out for Lydia to come here, and like I said, I think she's had good experiences at both institutions.
How did you hook up with Lydia? How did she end up here?
She, after her sophomore year, she was looking to transfer, and we were one of a handful of schools that she emailed. I think, we did not recruit her. We didn't get in on her out of high school. She was a top 25 kid coming out of high school. But her sister played at South Dakota and had played here, and I think thought it seemed like a good program and relayed, hey, you should look at Creighton. And we had a need. And, she talked to Maggie Baumert, but Maggie had transferred in from Georgia in a pretty similar circumstance. And I think that, she wanted, some specific things in the next school that she went to. And I think Maggie said, this, I think, would be a great fit for you. And so that helped a lot.
What'd you learn from your team over the weekend with those big matches here on your home court?
Well, I saw us play really, really good at points, and I saw us not play so well at different points. I thought USC really made us uncomfortable, and I didn't necessarily like how we responded in that match. With that said, I think that a loss right now is actually really good for us. I said that after the match against USC, this is good for us if we respond against Northern Iowa, and so I was glad to see that we did respond. Had we lost 2 in a row, I may have felt a little bit differently, but I think, getting the monkey off the back, knowing that, we still have lots of things to improve on, our consistency isn't where it needs to be, I think all those things are really good for us.
Will it be special to be back in that gym? Kansas?
At Kansas?
Yeah.
I like going to Kansas. It's a small gym. It's a fun atmosphere. I think the energy is great there. I just like playing in front of big crowds and think that's fun. So I think that will be fun. To me, there's a difference between regular season and postseason. And when we played them last time, it was postseason. So to me, this is just another great match. Just like, again, Purdue's match on Friday morning to me is the same as KU's match on Saturday night.
You said you had trouble getting people tickets and things like that. Since Friday night, the sellout crowd and the top 10 ranking, has the popularity of Creighton volleyball just increased that much, or what?
Well, KU's gym is so small. They only hold 1,100, 1,200. So that's the issue. I think all their games are sold out. So that's the issue for that. Now, for our gym, I think I still had some connections to maybe help pull some strings. But we're just really excited about our fan base coming out. We had great crowds for every single match, and we had pretty good crowds for the matches that Creighton wasn't playing in. So I think that tells you about the passion of volleyball in the city and in the state. We're on the road for a couple weeks, and we hope our fans will come out when we return.
When did you notice a turning point in your guys' performance behind the service line at any point? Maybe late last year, this spring, or coming into the fall?
I think it's been gradual, and I think it's still inconsistent. I didn't think, the hard part is when you get punched by a team, your natural tendency is sometimes to pull back, which is really when you need to go more aggressive. So against USC, we needed to be more aggressive behind the line, and I thought we didn't serve very aggressively. And then against Northern Iowa, we get confident, and then we serve a little bit more aggressively. So, I think it's been a gradual process over the last few years, and I still think we've got a long way to go.
But this club, specifically this group that's been together, is better at it at this point now than they were last year, don't you think? No?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I think we've got more serve options in our arsenal, so we can do more things with the ball rather than just serving deep aggressively. So I think that's a good thing. It's not just the whole. We need 6 great servers, so that's how we're always approaching it. And maybe we're a little bit better, but I still think when I think about things that we've got to get better at, serving is one of the top things on the list.
How much of a factor is that part of the game when you're trying to think about going from, like you said, 100 to 20, 20 to 10, 10 to 4? Like when you're trying to move up into that upper echelon of elite teams.
Oh, I think for our team, serving's critical to that because, again, we don't always match up physically to some of the teams that we're playing. And so serving can be an equalizer. So it's really, really critical, and we have to be able to do it not only at 0-0, but we have to be able to do it at 24-25, and be able to go back there and rip a serve and make a team uncomfortable.
How much chemistry and confidence is there with, Angie making the calls versus who's out here behind the line? How good do your servers feel with the number she's calling that they can put a ball down?
Well, we approach it like a pitcher. I mean, they can shake her off. So if they are not confident with what she's calling, they can say, I have a different serve that I feel better about. I think Angie talks to them to make sure they know what their best serve is, what they're comfortable with. So that's a continuous dialogue, and and then the other thing is we try to match it up with what we're doing from a blocking scheme standpoint and things along those lines.
How much better has Lydia gotten? Last year, her first 6 matches, I don't think she had any aces and, a bunch of errors. This year, it's completely flipped around. Has she made so many strides in the offseason, gotten any better at that? The way she serves, how she does it?
Ironically, all spring we had her jump top. So really, maybe the reason it's gotten so good is she didn't practice it at all. So, I think Lydia has, we went back to the gym last week after we went to Washington and said we have to serve harder. And we have a radar gun and we're tracking it and we're saying, okay, this is not hard enough, or this is where we need to be. And Lydia has been able to put that into action, not only in practice. It's much easier in practice when there's not huge ramifications, but Lydia's been able to make that transfer. I think Taryn's been able to make that transfer. There's been a few of them that have done a nice job of transferring that into matches.
Do you think Alexa can help you this year at any point? Is that why you decided to?
Yeah, I think there's been several times that we wanted to put her in. And so we sat down with her and said, what are your thoughts? Are you enjoying redshirting? And her response was, I'll do whatever I can for the team. So we told the team yesterday, and so if we feel like there's times that she can help us out, she'll get an opportunity to be on the court.
It's tough to try to throw her into the fire with top 25 teams coming at you left and right.
She played on one of the top club teams in the country, so I think she's excited to be thrown into the fire.
Okay.
One more on serving. You've used Jacqueline Taylor as a
serving specialist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that? I mean, that's obviously one of her skill sets, but what have you seen from her that's kind of giving you the confidence to put her in those, tight moments?
Yeah. Well, we always try to have a serving specialist or two on the bench. If someone's struggling, we're keeping track of all of that if we're not scoring in a rotation or if someone's not getting teams out of system. And Jack's got a good serve. And so, we talked to her even in the spring. We said, you're an ankle sprain away from being our starting setter, so you obviously need to be ready for that. But, she wants to get on the court. She redshirted last year, and, and we'd said, Jack, really work on your serve because I think you've got a good shot to fight for that spot. And, I think she's done a good job. She's a kid that I think that is a tough role. In practice, her serve has a lot more movement, and sometimes she'll serve a really good ball in the games. But I think that's an area that getting confident, and I think this will help her long term. As she starts to play more in her career, that she'll be confident to go back and put the pop on it in a match as she does in practice.
Yeah, because she'll sit for 15, 20 points or so,
yeah.
and then.
Well, we did that. Amanda Foji last year against Northern Iowa gets thrown in at 12 in the fifth, hadn't played the match. That's a mean coach. And then she was the hero, so it all worked out.
You knew what you were doing.
That's a perfect Amanda moment.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Obviously a big weekend for the team as a whole, but for you personally, you know, you got one circled, I'm sure, coming up on Friday. What's this one going to be like for you to go in with all the memories and relationships that you have there?
Yeah, it's been fun to reminisce on all the good times I've had, and I'm excited to see everyone, all the coaches, all the girls. I can't tell how I... It's hard because I want both teams to do so well. You know, I have so much love and respect for those girls that I want them to do so well, and unfortunately we both can't win. So it's kind of bittersweet, but I think it'll be fun.
I know, obviously, you know, going back to Lawrence, you guys had a good time there our last postseason. Do you expect, you know, Kansas to have a little extra in the tank going into this matchup with you guys?
I can only imagine. I mean, I think any team that ends the other team's career is going to have, you know, some fire coming after them. I know if we were to play Texas again, I think it'll be a really good match. I know we were watching them and, you know, watching film, and they're really legit. So.
Yeah, you guys kind of wanted to get Kentucky back a little bit. I mean, this is like even another level with Kansas.
Exactly. I mean, every game is fun, but when there's revenge, it just makes it a little bit sweeter.
When you go back a couple years when you were at Purdue,
Yeah, it was, I mean, it's never easy having to make that decision. I think I was just looking for, I think everybody thrives differently in every different environment, and I think I was just thriving better here at Creighton, and I was looking more for a culture and a personality that fit me a little bit better. So I think that's just what I was looking for. I mean, I look back on all those memories, and all I think of are the good times and the good people, and so it really ended on a positive note. I just think that there was a better fit for me, and I think it worked out well.
just kind of give us a rundown of the Jayhawks and how good they are.
Yeah, I mean, they're awesome. They have so many great hitters and defenders, and when they pass it perfectly and they're in system, they're just like everyone. I think we have 3 great teams this weekend. I think you can't override any of them. Purdue, Belmont, Kansas are all going to be tough. So I think it's more what we can do on our side and how we can come together as a team. You know, bounce up. We have to show everybody that we're in the top 10.
For you guys that used to playing that way in club, the top games of the weekend, is that kind of hard to adjust to, I guess, at all, or no?
Yes and no. I think physically bodies get more tired when you play, especially since we're playing such high-level teams. You know, we're giving it our all every time. But I love it personally. I mean, practices are great, but everybody loves games. So the more games in one weekend, the better, from my point of view. But it's a little different. I think that's something that's really nice to our advantage is we've been working so hard on our physical conditioning and physical shape all spring and all summer. So to be able to go out there and play 3 matches in a row, I think we have an edge. I know a lot of teams do, but we've been working so hard that we have that edge and we're ready to go.
What have you noticed is different about each of you? Go behind the service line and have the doing great in this program of serving aggressive.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it is a mindset, and so much of serving is mental. And I think just, hey, I do this every single day in practice. I know I'm a good server. I know that if I give them an easy serve, it's going to come back and probably give me a concussion in the face. So you got to put a little bit on it, and I think that's something like that we've been focusing on. So I think it's just to put some pace on it.
How difficult is it, especially when you're on the road in a hostile environment, you know, in a tie match, the 5th set, where you know if you put one in the net, that's momentum for their side, but also you know you can get them out of system, that's momentum for you. You know, that balance of that very small margin for error.
Yeah, it is definitely a balance, and I think that's something, especially in the non-con, is we did ease up. We were like, oh, it's 15-14, I can't miss my serve, so we would just get it over, and it wasn't working for us. So I think whether at the end of the day you want to say, hey, I gave it my all. I know that I buried that serve into the net, but I was going for it, and I was going to get that team out of system. And I think we all know that and understand that about each other. I mean, I'd rather take an aggressive swing that just barely misses than one that's soft and tentative, because you know you're not going to win a competitive, but it's a good chance if you're going for it.
A missed serve was big in the Nebraska match. It probably cost you the KU one here in the regular season. Did you guys spend much time thinking about those and kind of analyzing what went wrong in those moments?
Yeah,
help you improve?
definitely our coaches. That was our focus, was making a harder serve. And I mean, Jaylee said in an interview in the country, in the tournament, and I think we saw from every angle that those teams served aggressive, and we were kind of caught off guard. Compete on that level from the serving standpoint, serving and passing, because they go hand in hand. So our focus this whole also knowing your balance. So having a 95% serve where maybe it's 5-5 in the match, 80% serve at the end of the game, you have to put something.
The difference for you individually. I mean, your first 6 matches last year, you had no aces, 16 errors. Probably not much confidence back there.
Wow.
This year you're 12 errors, 5 errors. I mean, it's a total night and day. How confident are you? What's been the difference?
Yeah, I think just getting that comfortableness with yourself. I mean, you rep it in practice, emotions, and just saying, oh, here I'm going to get when I go in a game, I already know what I'm doing. It just kind of comes to me. I think that's something that everybody can push themselves a little bit harder, and me going into my senior year, I said I want to have no regrets, so I'm going to go through every single motion in practice and make sure it's my best. So I've been really going back in practice and focusing on my serve, and now I don't even think twice about it. I mean, probably half the time I'm singing a song in my head before I go back to serve, just kind of like don't focus on it too much. Less mind is always something I work on, so just go back there and rip it.
Do you have a favorite song that you sing when you go back there?
Normally whatever I listen to last in the locker room or something that's coming on. Nothing in particular, just something to kind of keep me loose and not too focused.
Were you doing a jump serve? Is that?
Yeah, I go back and forth.
Okay.
Whatever the coaches want, I'll try my best to do whatever, but I think...
So you have the ability to do?
Yes.
Okay.
I can do whatever they want. I think a float serve is so hard to pass, and I think we found that out. Unless you really, really, really rip a jump top, I think sometimes it's easier. So we just want to make sure whatever serve is the best is what's going on the floor.
Okay.
You don't have to say a specific one, but I mean, when Angie's calling out numbers back there, how many of them do you feel confident in? If she puts up a number, is there one that makes you nervous, or you feel pretty good about all of them at this point?
I feel pretty good about all of them. Sometimes the short balls get a little, no one wants to see a short ball that just goes on your side of the net. That's kind of humiliating. But no, I mean, she does a really good job of knowing each person's tendency is where their best serve is. So if it's close in the match, she knows, hey, Lydia's good at serving this zone, I'm going to give it to her. But I think we both have confidence in each other that she can give me a zone and I'll hit it, or vice versa.
Standard for you guys right now. What are the expectations on the Lawrence?
I think just playing our this last weekend, we kind of realized we just need to focus on our side and that the other team's going to get points, but we just got to be able to rally back and be able to do level like we do.
What obviously it's a big one for Lydia. As teammates, how do you girls approach her this week, or do you try to just stay out of the way? What's your approach with that?
I think we all know that it's a big game for Lydia especially, but again, it's just another game, another team, so we definitely want to win the game and have the outcome for Lydia, but we just got to do what we have to do to win.
See another matchup with Kansas, kind of a special place for you guys last year.
Yeah.
What are the expectations for this matchup?
We know they're coming. Heard on everyone else speak that they are using last year as kind of a grudge for this year, so we know that it's going to be a high intensity game, and we know that we're going to have to come out and play our best and execute the game plan. So I think we're all super excited for it, and we're going to be ready.
Yeah, there are going to be any moments of just where you can relax and look back and enjoy being in Lawrence again, or no?
I think with the atmosphere, it's going to be crazy going, but we know we got the outcome last time, so we're going to try and do that again and hopefully use that to our advantage.
Right.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how much do you guys think about that win last year? I know it was a big one, and you had a big one right after that as well, against Michigan, but
I think that was probably one of the biggest games for us since we season, and then they got the win in the 5 set, so I I think with Kansas, it's definitely that was a big win for us last year, and we're going to want to do it again this year.